So guys, we all know how difficult it is to stay on top of every little change that Tesla pushes out, but things are a lot easier when the company leaks it directly on their website. As we have seen throughout the years, there has been many periods of unintentional leaks directly from the source. It's now quite difficult to say that Tesla is any good at keeping secrets, especially when it comes to new product launches, as we have seen in the past with multiple occasions in a single year. They have unintentionally leaked some of their upcoming products, and we were able to find it within the source code. Now, to jog your memory and look at the most recent event that we can remember, this has to be the new Model 3 Highland. As far back as we can remember, the Model 3 Highland was first leaked by an anonymous source, and this was where we saw our very first Model 3 Highland completely uncovered inside of a garage. Now, no one believed that this was true. All thought it was fake until the very point that they started prototype testing in the streets of California. And by then, we started to see more and more leaks come out as engineers began driving the car with the entire front and rear end covered up. Slowly and surely, we got the exterior shots of the car tied down, and then we saw the rear of the car with the newer taillights. This is when we were sure that the original prototype leak within the garage was the actual car. And of course, as time went on, a few more slip-ups from the engineers, and we started seeing shots of the entire interior, from the stockless design to the ambient lighting to the rear display. All of it started being revealed, and we started to see the car way ahead of announcement. Now, if all of this wasn't enough, as Tesla started to reveal the car to the world, they had a couple more slip-ups, and this is where we were able to see the recent renderings of the front bumper camera. There were multiple renderings and images directly on their front page, and this lasted a couple of days before they realized their mistake and took it all down. Of course, this added further confusion to the mix, as the Cybertruck was recently announced around the same time, and it did come with a front bumper camera. So now we started questioning, anticipating when the Model 3 will finally get it, but up to this very point we still saw nothing. Then, now getting into the episodes of the Model 3 performance, this is the true highlight of it all. It was tremendously delayed. More than half a year went by without a single word, but we all knew they were cooking up something in the background, which is what we experienced here today. However, leading up to that point, it was a crazy mess that kept us on the tip of our seats up until the day it was announced. Now, outside of all the obvious ones that Tesla had a hard time keeping a secret, such as the upgraded seats, the overall design, and the performance of the motors, there was one additional thing here that was extremely controversial and really still is today, and still we haven't heard a single word from Tesla about why. This was the fact that Tesla had built the car with the term ludicrous in mind. Prior to the announcement and us seeing the car today, there were references to the word ludicrous all over Tesla's own website within the source code. Now, specifically for the Model 3 page, there were references to ludicrous within the parts catalog as well as the user manual, and they went as far as creating an audio clip that was made for the Model 3 ludicrous or the launch or preparation of the system. This would allow the car to precondition the battery and the overall thermals before activating this mode. All of this was originally there and could be found on the Model 3 page, but they eventually replaced every single reference to ludicrous within the source codes and now replaced it with performance. So yeah, the point is Tesla is not very good at keeping secrets, especially when they are the ones revealing and leaking the information themselves. So of course, this leads us on to the most recent leak and the most unintentional thing they have done in the recent Model 3. First discovered by a user on Twitter that goes by Francisco Oliveira, he found that Tesla has recently published and updated their new power consumption page to reflect a brand new variant of the Model 3. Now, this vehicle here currently does not exist in the lineup, but they are planning to release this anytime now, and if you are in the market, you may be after this exact same trim. According to the power consumption table, alongside other models, Tesla is planning to release a brand new rear-wheel drive long-range Tesla Model 3. This would put it in the same front as the Model Y, where in certain countries they are now offering a rear-wheel drive long-range version that should technically be the longest range version of it all. What makes this variant highly requested and sought after is the fact that it brings many benefits to the base model without the additional price tag. This vehicle here should technically have an MSRP much lower than the all-wheel drive variant, but also bring all the crazy efficiencies and the battery upgrades that we would get from from the dual motor version. What it would also bring to the table is all the nicer features from the highest end trims, meaning you'll see premium audio, faster charging speeds, as well as nicer interior trim materials. These are all the things that are not available with the rear wheel drive base Model 3 and should now come standard with this long range version. And also what makes this model highly sought after is the fact that it will be the most efficient and the longest range model in the entire Model 3 lineup, being that it is now the lightest Model 3 ever built at 3,990 pounds. It is 60 pounds lighter than the next lightest Model 3. So what this means is that it's going to be the most efficient Model 3 with the extremely fast charging speeds as well as the single motor in the rear. You're going to get the best of all worlds with the longest battery, taking you the furthest distance without stopping at any mid superchargers. So yeah, for those of you waiting for this exact model to drop, the wait is almost over. Tesla could be bringing this to the design studio this week or next week, and you'll be able to order your perfect longest range Model 3 ever. Now I would say that if you live in a warmer climate that rarely ever sees any snow or ice, this is the best vehicle that money can buy. And when it comes down to it, you are getting the best bang for your buck. You get the longest range battery, you get the fastest charging speeds, all the nicest features from the top end trims, and you're getting it at very substantial and very reasonable price. And hopefully, fingers crossed that this is the case. This is going to be the vehicle alongside the performance that is going to qualify for the federal tax credit of $7,500, and this should bring the car even lower than what you expect because the battery is going to be manufactured within the US. So yeah guys, the long range Tesla Model 3 rear wheel drive could possibly be the best selling car that Tesla has ever made, and when it drops, we are going to be getting a ton of details on its efficiency. I will be keeping an eye on every little thing and keeping you as updated as possible, so definitely stick around, hit that subscribe button, that bell notification, and follow me on Twitter at HeyJohnE. Over there you guys can chat with me, respond with me, and I will try to get back with you as quickly as possible. Anyways, this should wrap it up for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is John once again. Peace out.